Over the years, I've taken care of thousands of patients. And something started to emerge. I've taken care of people with diabetes, heart disease, metabolic dysfunction, people who were struggling, and people who were quietly getting better. And over time, I started to notice something surprising. That the people who were really doing well with their health, those who were lowering their medications, those who were stabilizing blood sugars, those who were regaining energy and moving differently through life, they weren't necessarily the ones that were most motivated. And many times they were not the ones who had the most knowledge. That realization stopped me in my tracks because everything I had been taught and everything we've been taught says the opposite. We're told if you just want it badly enough, if you just stay disciplined, if you just learn a little bit more, then you'll get there. But that's not what I was seeing in real life, and that's not what I experienced in my own life. What I was seeing was something far more reliable. The people who succeeded had structure. Their lives were quietly designed to support them, especially on the days when they were tired, when they were stressed, when they were distracted. They didn't rely on motivation. They didn't rely on memory. They didn't rely on willpower. They relied on design. And that's what we're talking about here in this episode. We are at the end, y'all, of our Blueprint series. This is graduation day. And if you're new to me, I'm Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Wood with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. You don't need superhuman strength. What you need is a strategy you can trust. You need a plan you can follow, and you need the support and determination to keep showing up every single time. And I'm here to help you have the success in your health just like you're having in other areas. Whatever platform you're joining us from, we welcome you, whether that's YouTube or Twitch or Twitter, whether you're here from Facebook or LinkedIn, and of course here on YouTube, welcome. Whatever city, state, town, country that you're in, we want to say welcome to you. And if you are new, go ahead and put new in the comments because I want to make sure I give you a hand clap and some music. And let you know that we are excited that you are here and that we're glad that you have come through. And a special shout out right now to our accelerator members who are out there. Thank you for hanging out and being with us. Well, we got some good things that we're going to take a look at. I've got my monitor that we're going to take a look at here on there you go. I've got these guys over on the side that we're going to take a look at here in just a minute. And we are going to talk about the differences that are happening over the next couple of weeks, just to make sure that you are fully aware of what's happening. So I want to say to you right from the beginning, right here at the start. So this is the final teaching episode of the Blueprint series. And it is the final flagship episode of this season, not because something is stopping, but because something has completed. For the past several weeks, we've been designing deliberately, brick by brick, layer by layer, not chasing motivation, not reacting to symptoms, but learning how to design stability. And tonight we close that work fully. And I'm excited about it. The purpose of the Blueprint series, as I said, here's something I want you to hear, that the series was never about information alone. It wasn't about fasting. It wasn't about glucose control. It wasn't about habits in isolation. The series was training you to think differently. That's right. Think differently. To elevate your thought process, to evaluate differently, to respond instead of reacting. It was teaching you how to design structure that holds when motivation fades. And that's why this series is so excited to me. That's why we're ending, right? Not with hype, but with clarity. We'll talk about that here in just a little while. So let's go ahead and let's take a look at what's going on with my numbers. Let's do this. Let's start by looking at my Libre. All right, so here's my Libre. It says that my blood sugar right now is 78. And if we scroll down here, looking at that graph, and you see if I run my finger for most of the day, this is the last 12 hours, by the way. And this is a Libre 3 Plus, as you see there at the top, right in there somewhere. 100, and then somehow, somewhere in here, dropped below 90. And by the way, if you saw our What's Happening This Week, you saw that I started my fast a day early, right? So we are right now right at about 20-something hours. Actually, I started the fast a day and a half early. We're about 20-something hours into the fast for this week because of what's going on later this week. All right, so we're in the 90s, drop down into the 80s, and then, of course, where we are right now at 79. If I look at my report, there we go, insights, look at my reports, and we're going to look at my time in range, looking at this number right here, 99% in range. And you'll see 0% right now that are, this is the last 7 days, by the way, are low. And then 1% right there, you see there, 1% is high. And I'm going to jump over to the 90-day average, 87% or time in range, 87% in range. You'll see 13% lows down there. And I'm excited because just the other day, I think I mentioned to you guys that I got my blood work, and we're going to do a show at some point where you see what my blood sugars are, what my A1C is, and we're going to compare it to what these devices have been saying, right? Because that's a very instructive thing to do. All right, let's get out of that. And let's hop over to average blood sugar. Once again, we're looking at the 90-day because that's where we get the A1C from. 90 days right there, average of 91. And then it breaks it down into the different times of the day. And as you heard me say before, I love this because it allows me to make decisions about what's going on and what I do based on what's happening during the different times of the day. All right, so let's get out of this one. And just for comparison, we're going to go over to our Dexcom. And this is a G7. And you'll see my blood sugar, according to Dexcom, is 96 right up in here. And then scrolling down right here, the last 12 hours, just like we did with the Libre in the 100s. And look at that. They are actually pretty close to each other, right? Within 20 points. Right now, the Libre says I'm in, what did it say, 80. And then the Dexcom says I'm 96. So about 15, 16 points away from each other. Awesome. All right. So let's go ahead and put this one back. And then I'm going to hop over and take a look at what's happening according to my monitor. So I've got a Keto Mojo and I've got a contour meter. So let's go ahead and get some. We got some supplies here. I've got my strips. This is for the contour. Get that in there. And then I need a brown. Let's see, do I have a brown one? Yeah. So I need a brown for blood sugar for Keto Mojo. I need a blue for ketones. And then, of course, I've got a Lancet. Let's get those back over. And let's go ahead and open this up. Put this in. Get that. Oop, drop that. Get that into the Keto Mojo. And then go ahead and we're going to open up here again. This is the ketone. Let's see. Okay, there we go. And then here's my Lancet. And I don't usually use a lancing device, as you hear me say over and over, but I just open it up, find the finger, and this is the one I've been kind of messing around right with now. And so let's go ahead and get that in. Ow, ow, ow. Hopefully that gives me, yep. Ooh, I got 2 drops. I think I stuck myself twice. One there and one there. And then, of course, I should have enough to get my ketones. So 85 is what this guy says. And then 92 is what the contour says. Let's get this one out. And because I want to get the ketones strip in there quickly before it dries. And I already see someone guessing at what my ketones are. So let's go ahead and let's get this going. Let's see. There we go. All right. So what do you think it's going to be? So 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1.1. 0.1 ketones. Okay. So a little less than 24 hours into this week's fast. All right, and so let's go back and let's take a look at the actual numbers, the blood sugars, and let's take a look at this one. So 92 is what the contour says. You'll see right there, 84 is what the Libre says, and then going back here, 97, and I don't remember what this guy was. I think it was. Actually, I don't quote me because I don't remember what it was, but you'll see that they're different. Okay. All right. Now let's go ahead and we're gonna hop over and say hello to some of our community members. I see you guys out there. Let's do this. And I see Gian out there. Gian says, "Hey, Doctor in LLG, what is going on?" And then Steve, hello, Gian. Hi, Steve from Gian. Merry Christmas. Merry Christmas back and forth. And then Gian is guessing at 0.2, which I believe is what you were saying my ketones would be. And as you saw, they were 0.1. Okay. There we are. And so let's go ahead and we're going to get into our discussion for tonight. And we'll get there. Before we do that, though, I want to go ahead and I'm going to play our MOVE campaign. Remember, metabolic optimization via exercise. One of the things that we do, one of the, two of the arms of our health action plan are built in there, two of the pillars, that is movement. And so let's go ahead and let's look at that right now. Welcome to MOVE, metabolic optimization via exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is MOVE. Let's get started. All right, so we are, as you heard me say, at the graduation day of our Blueprint series. So no new concepts, no new frameworks, no new pillars, but just at the end to put it all together. And so we've been talking, as you heard, about our Blueprint series. And the Blueprint series came about because of seeing that many people are full of motivation and many people get benefit. They achieve some modicum of success. They get some of their goals, but then it doesn't last. And so the question became, why? In fact, I use myself as an example. Here I am. I'm the endocrinologist. I'm the guy who's tasked with teaching people, talking to people about metabolism and diabetes and health and weight. And here I was, 287 pounds, with blood sugars that are uncontrolled, A1C that's elevated. And the question is why? Because if knowledge is all that's needed, then I should have been like the perfect example of a diabetic. Yeah? Well, the question is why? And it's because it is not all about knowledge. It's not all about motivation. It's not all about desire or dreams. It has a lot to do with the structures that we put in place. Because when life happens, and y'all, life is going to happen, if we don't have that in place, then things don't go the way we want them to go. So we're talking about design, right? So what does the blueprint produce? What did the blueprint produce? So not compliance, but capability. And graduation isn't about perfection. It's about readiness. And the Blueprint series was never trying to make you flawless. It was training you to become capable of noticing drift early, capable of correcting without panic, capable of designing rhythm instead of chasing control. A blueprint doesn't live in the designing, it lives in the designer. So the blueprint doesn't live in that building that was built, but the blueprint is used by the person who's building the building. And the structure that comes as a result of that is what makes and helps things to last. Yeah? So what is the real outcome? The real outcome is the shift that really matters. From reaction to design. Before the blueprint, most people live reactively. Something happens, then we respond emotionally. We try harder, we resist, we reset, we burn out, and then the process starts all over. But blueprint thinking changes all of that. You stop asking, what do I feel like doing? And you start asking, what does this system require? That's graduation. That's when on Monday morning, in that meeting, on Tuesday afternoon at lunch, on Saturday when that family member is sick, or on Thursday when you have that conversation with your significant other and you guys are not seeing eye to eye. When the rubber meets the road, you stop asking, what do I feel like doing? And you start asking, what does the system require me to do? What did I pre-decide that I was going to do in this situation? That's the shift that really matters. Because all the information doesn't amount to a hill of beans if on Monday morning it doesn't work, does it? So let's talk about 5 of the things that you should have learned in the blueprints. So this is not a recap of Blueprint. Okay, we're not going to go through all of those. The shows are there, the episodes are there. Go back and watch them. But what are some of the things that you should have picked up? What now exists within you by walking through this process? Number one, clarity. One of the skills, clarity. You now understand what matters. You understand what are the real important components to your health. It's not about all of the things. It's about the important things. As we walk through, what are some of the things in my health that I've got to look at? What are some of those important numbers? What are some of those important behaviors? What really matters? Number 2, structure. You know now how to support the things that matter. Rhythm, alignment, and structure. That's the scaffolding, if you will, that we've talked about, that you can now look and say, okay, hey, if I'm going to be able to walk consistently, if I'm going to be able to eat the way I want to eat, if I'm going to be able to get the blood sugars I want to have so that my A1C is better, so that I decrease the complications that come with diabetes, I've got to have a structure that supports the things that are important. Number 3, rhythm. You understand consistency without rigidity. How do I make sure that I have a rhythm in my day, in my life, in my month, without feeling like I'm locked in a box? That's one of the mistakes that we've made with our people we're talking about metabolism and lifestyle, is we kind of beat them into a box and they get pigeonholed, if you will, and they feel stuck and they rebel, and the brain doesn't like that because we've not taught that you can be consistent but not rigid, that you can have choices within the confines of a metabolically healthy lifestyle. I tell people, you're going on a cruise, enjoy the cruise. But people get stressed. Why? Because, I'm going on a cruise. There's going to be so much food. I don't know what I'm going to do. I say, eat some of it. Eat some of it, but understand that you're not eating like that all the time. Not every single day on the cruise. But if you go on the cruise and you are, white knuckling it, guess what? The more you do that, the more you're going to eat. Because the stress that comes from that is huge. So clarity, structure, rhythm, correction. You can now adjust without quitting, because you are able to evaluate, how do I make micro adjustments? How do I course correct in the process without throwing my hands up and say, I'm done. I've tried it. It doesn't work. I'm out of here. And then, y'all, you've built self-trust. You begin to trust yourself again, because you've made decisions. You've learned how to make decisions. You don't need constant external permission and constant external reminders, because you trust yourself to make decisions. I tell people in the office all the time, as people come in, they're 50, 60, 70 years old. I said, for the majority of your life, let's say you're 50 years old, and let's take 10 years out of that, right? 10 years out of that. So for 40 years, you have been making decisions about every single thing in your life. Where to live, who to marry, what kind of food to get, what kind of car to buy, what kind of clothes to purchase. You've been making decisions based on the knowledge and the information that you have. And the idea here is to give you enough information so that you can make the decisions, you can put it in structure so that you begin trusting yourself again. Because when you trust yourself, you will actually make better decisions about your health than other people telling you to do those things. Self-trust. So clarity, structure, rhythm, correction, and self-trust. That's not motivation. That's maturity. That's growth. Based on knowledge and based on structure. So what are those blueprint skills? There they are. So in order to move forward, we got to take a look back. Before we can move forward, I want to pause intentionally. So not to analyze, not to fix, but to notice something. Because one of the biggest mistakes that people make during growth is rushing past the evidence that they've actually changed. not being able to sit and absorb the fact that I am different now. I think differently. I behave differently. I eat differently. I think about my blood sugars differently. So let me help guide you through this. I want you to think back to the beginning of the Blueprint series. In fact, I want you to think back prior to Blueprint series. Not what you knew, but how you felt. We send people to diabetes education and nutrition, and they tell me, "Oh, I know the stuff." But how did you feel? You knew it, but did you feel that you were in charge? Did you feel like you were making the decisions? Did you feel like you were controlling your health? Did you feel like the diabetes had a mind of its own? How did your health feel then? How did your thought process feel? How was your confidence when it came to consistency and health? Eating, fasting, walking, strength training. Now flash forward and compare that to right now. Come on. Not perfection, but mastery, y'all. Not 100%, but not where I was. Just the difference from then to now. What feels calmer? What feels like, okay, I got this now. I may not understand it totally, but I understand more than I did. What feels more predictable? What feels less chaotic than it used to? Thinking back now to before the Blueprint series, before that. Here's the key insight that most people miss. If something feels easier now, it's not because you've become weaker. It's because structure has started doing the work for you. I don't have to make those decisions every single time. That's the sign that Blueprint is functioning. And if you don't pause to recognize that, you'll mistakenly think that nothing has changed. You'll loosen the very structure that's holding you steady. You are not the same person. This moment right here is how progress is protected. By pausing and recognizing the change, recognizing the difference, recognizing that you're different. And if we're not careful, we miss that opportunity. So looking back before we can move forward. So why do most people never finish? The drop-off point. Because the information without integration doesn't work. Most people consume information endlessly, but never integrate. They know more, but they trust themselves less. And the Blueprint stops that cycle. It slowed you down long enough to design something underneath you. When I was a kid, growing up in New York, we went to Ringling Brothers and Barnum Bailey Circus. I don't know if they're gone now. But one of my favorites was, and even watching shows and movies, the trapeze artists, and to watch them do their thing. But I always watched the net down below them because there was some safety there. And even here, as I watch them build houses, one of the things they build the foundation. So there's something underneath, something to catch you, something that supports you. So slowing down long enough and letting that information not just come in, but having it become a part of my foundation. So don't just know more. That's why one of our tools, the health action plan, the word is built into it, action, because it gets power with your behavior. So I'm not interested in you just knowing more, but knowing more with a purpose. So that's why people drop off. So what success looks like is always an interesting conversation. And success looks like a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Sometimes success for some people looks like a lot of activity. We're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing this thing here, and we're making some progress here. But calm consistency is a great marker of success. So real success doesn't feel dramatic sometimes. It's calm, it's predictable, it's steady. Give me steady, predictable, consistent over dramatic, high intensity, short term. I'll take the stability. I'll take the long term. You don't wake up wondering what to do when there's success. You don't panic when life shifts when there's success. When you go on the cruise, when somebody comes to visit, when it's the holiday, when it's your birthday, when it's your anniversary, you don't panic because you've got a plan for food. You've got a plan for activity. It's not going to throw you off course. You don't abandon the plan when stress shows up. That's success. That's not because life got easier. It's because you designed a structure that is supporting you. The structure got stronger. That is success. The calm assurity that I can make a decision about my health that is in keeping with where I want to go. Rhythm, alignment, and structure. Am I anchored? Am I aligned? And do I have the ability to make adjustments if I need to? Rhythm, alignment, and structure. So success. So graduation. What does graduation really mean? So graduation doesn't mean you stop learning. Sometimes people say, okay, I've graduated, so I'm done. It means that you stop starting over. Pause again. I want to hold it right there. So if you are thinking back to the number of times that you've tried to lose weight, the number of times you've tried to get better numbers, the number of times you have tried to work on your A1C or your high blood pressure or your cholesterol or any of the metabolic things that people have told you, and you try it, and then you find yourself starting over again. And you did it, and then now here we're starting over. So graduation says, no, we're not going down that path again. So we're graduating from that. It doesn't mean we stop learning. It means we stop starting over. It means you have a way to think, to evaluate, and to design no matter what is being thrown at you. I don't just eat randomly because I'm in a situation that is not my normal. I hear that all the time. Oh, well, we were on vacation. Or mama got sick. Or I was traveling. Well, those things are going to happen all the time. You're going to have those things come up. So every time that comes up, does that mean that every time it comes up, it throws me out of my rhythm? That's a depressing thought. Because guess what? Christmas is coming every year, same time. My birthday, my anniversary. People are going to come visit. Somebody's going to get sick. So when that happens, am I saying then that every time that happens, I've got to go down the path of getting off my plan and then have to start over? No, graduation says, nah, we're not doing that. That's what the blueprint was always aiming for. That we have a way to think, evaluate, design, adjust, no matter what life throws at us. So it's not just about that one thing, it's about the system that you're designing. The system that holds you when life is changing. That's what graduation is. And so, who are you becoming? Identity stabilizes what effort begins. So I want to talk to you, not as a patient, not as a learner, but as a person in transition. Because here's something important. You may already be living differently, but still thinking like the old version of yourself. And that gap matters. The gap between who you currently are behaving like, who you're currently living like, because you've changed, and the person that you still see yourself as in your head. That gap. Earlier, we talked about how behavior can change faster than identity. This is where many people quietly sabotage themselves. They say, I'm doing better, but I don't trust it. Have you ever had that? Yeah, well, things are going fine. I'm just waiting for the other shoe to drop. I'm consistent, but I'm waiting to mess up. I'm feeling stronger, but I don't see myself that way yet. Notice the dichotomy. So let me say this to you clearly. You are not someone trying to be consistent. You're someone learning how consistency is held. You're not someone relying on motivation. You're someone designing a structure that works without motivation. Motivation right now, y'all, is optional. If I'm motivated, great. It gives me extra energy. But if I'm not motivated, that shift right there is the graduation moment. You don't need to announce it. You don't need to prove it. You don't need to take out an ad. You just need to stop identifying as fragile. And right here, right now, you are proving that you're a different person. Fragility is no longer accurate to who you are. I'm no longer that person. I'm no longer the one who reacts to life, by going out in the refrigerator. Let's see, do I have any in there? And eating the Cadbury chocolate. Well, no, I took it out. I'm not the one that goes down to the grocery store and walks out the store with 5 bags of chips, some juice, and 6 or 7 Cadbury chocolate bars. I'm a different person. And so we want to move from not just who we're becoming, we want to move from concept to life. So structure lives beyond this series. Come on now. Now here's the question that matters most. Are you ready for it? What happens after this? What happens when you stop watching this episode? What happens after this show? What happens after the Blueprint series ends? Not next week, not January, not when motivation spikes again. What happens on a random Tuesday when life interrupts your rhythm? What happens on Monday morning? And here's the answer. And this is critical. The blueprint does not require you to remember every concept. It requires you to remember how you respond. When something happens that's hard, and life is going to be hard. One of the things I'm training the young man that's growing up in my house. Like there are times when he's been asked to do something, or he's going to do something, and he'll say, "Oh, that's going to be hard," or "I don't know how to do that," or "I'm scared." And I say to him, "Yes, it's going to be hard. Yes, you're scared. Yes, you may not know how to do it, but guess what? That doesn't mean you don't have to do it." How do I respond when something gets hard? I don't quit. I recalibrate. Why do I respond when things get easy? That's the other one. I don't relax structure. I protect it. When life shifts, I don't start over. I adjust. That's it. That's the handoff. That's the transition from concept up here to every day where the rubber meets the road. Because like I said, it's great up here. I love the fact that you learn. But what happens on Monday morning? What happens when life says, okay, you think you're different. You think you've learned something. Okay, let's try it out. Because life's gonna come at us. Subtly sometimes. Sometimes it comes forcefully. And here's the thing. Those are probably the ones that we're more prepared for. When life is coming at us full force, you're like, okay, I got this. But it's the subtle creep that we're not paying attention to. And before we know it, the blood sugars are a little higher, the weight is up a few pounds, my blood pressure's gone up, I'm sleeping a little less, I've not done my stress management, and that creep takes us down a path that we never intended to go down. And yet we find ourselves way down that road, and sometimes it's hard. And it takes us a long time to find our way back. The blueprint isn't something you do. It's something you operate from. And when you live from it, progress no longer feels fragile. There's a truth that has been quietly guiding everything we've done in this series. You want to hear it? I want you to remember this. Unlimited potential does not happen by motivation. It happens by design. And if that sentence resonates with you, it's because you've experienced the difference. Not because you've been inspired, not because you've been motivated. It's because you've been structured. You've designed it. And design always beats motivation. That's the handoff from concept to life. So, blueprint complete. What's designed correctly lasts. This is why the Blueprint series ends here. Not because there's nothing more to learn, but because you now understand how progress is held and not chased. We're not chasing progress. What you've built isn't momentum, it's stability. And stability is what carries you forward. It's what takes us where we need to go. It's what holds us when everything around us is changing. Blueprint. And that's the beauty of a system. That's the beauty of design. That's the beauty of what we've been doing and what we've been building. And this graduation is not the end of that. It is just, hey, I'm ready now to put into practice on Sunday morning, Monday night, Tuesday midday, Wednesday in the afternoon, Thursday at noon, Friday at breakfast, and Saturday at the movies. This is it right here. Because it is the thing that will take me through to where I need to go. Blueprint. It doesn't live in the structure there. It lives in the designer. Because when the structure is finished, the question becomes, how do I live inside of it? This is why you've heard me say, quietly, intentionally, limitless living, powered by Woode Life Design. I'm not explaining that yet. I'm just naming it. Because tonight stands on its own. Clarity, clarity, clarity. And when we're done, you have in hand and under you the support that you need to keep going. Unlimited power does not, unlimited potential does not come from motivation. It comes from design. Remember, that is your power. That is the crux of Blueprint. We continue to grow. We continue to improve. We continue to live a healthy, long life. And that is ultimately the goal. We'll be back. Stay with us. All right, man. The Blueprint series. I love the Blueprint series. As I have evolved and as I've grown, as I have taken charge of my health and life, it is the concept from the Blueprint series that continued to hold me. Now, can we be transparent? You will know for yourself that there are some times when the concepts that you have, the things that you've learned, are in your mind as you are in the act of doing something contrary to what you know up here. Can I put my hand up? Yeah, you may not, but I'm going to say it. That's not because of weakness. Those things will happen. And if they've not happened yet, they're coming. So it's going to happen. You're going to get off course. You're going to get stressed. You're going to be tired. You're going to be bored. Whatever it is, it's coming. And the question is not a matter of whether it's coming. The question is what happens when it arrives. One of the things I'm a movie person. And so whenever there's a storm coming, right, there are these people, and there are two sets of people usually. Actually, three sets of people. It's the ones that, they hear something's coming and they leave. They're gone. You're not catching me here. Then there were the ones that stay and they don't prepare. But they're the ones who stay and they're putting up sandbags and they're they're building the stuff, they're boarding up the house. And so the question for you is, are you preparing? Have you prepared? Have you put the stuff in place? Have you put the sandbags up so that when it comes, not if, but when it comes, that you're ready? And I want to mark this moment properly. The Blueprint series is now complete. The concepts, the layers, the foundations. Boom, there it is. But life doesn't stop there. And design doesn't stop at knowledge. The truth is, you don't need another framework. You don't need another motivation. You need a way to live what you've built. And that's the handoff. That's the power of what we've been doing. So let me say it clearly. Limitless living is the life we live. Limitless living is the thing that we end up with. The design is how we get there. The blueprint was the foundation. And the operating system is the design that makes it all work. Limitless living is the outcome. And you'll hear me talk more about life design. You hear me talk more, and you'll see it there, powered by Woode Life Design. The concepts that have grown out of my personal struggle. You know my story. Everything moves forward with us. We build on all that we've learned. We build on what we've been doing intentionally. So y'all, the season is complete. The chapter is closed on purpose. What comes next? Designs on this. Not around it, not instead of it, but with it. This is graduation, but it's not the end. We continue to grow. We continue to design the life that we live. You don't need superhuman strength. You've heard me start saying, you need a structure you can trust, a design you can return to, and the courage to live it every single time. And the result of that is limitless living, because we've put all those things in place. Oh, I'm so excited. I've been so honored to walk along with everyone and see the benefits that you're getting in your life, and hear the stories of success in weight, even as people are putting comments on the videos that we've done this year. What an amazing process. What an amazing journey that we've been on as we've walked this path together, as we continue to look forward to the new year. So this is our last live episode for this season. We will pick up again as we get into the new season, and our first show will be on the 12th of January. Our season will look a little different. We're going to do some new amazing things, so come on out and be part of that. Dwain Woode MD Live, Mondays at 7 p.m. Central. We'll be here, and we will continue to walk through that process. We've got some exciting new formats that we'll be doing, so come on out and hang out with us. As you heard me say, I started my fast yesterday or last night. So we started that fast early, and that was intentionally because we've got holidays coming up over the next couple of days, and I shift that fasting around. So I'm not giving up the fasting. Come on now, right? We got a structure. The structure still works. The structure doesn't change just because it's Christmas, right? Because it's holidays, because it's Thanksgiving, because it's my birthday, because it's anniversary. The structure doesn't change. It changes form. But the structure has been designed. It is designed to hold me when my motivation is changing. So I am excited that we've come to the end of the Blueprint series. I want to make sure that you know that we will still have some things on the channel. Won't be alive, but come on out and be a part of the community, be a part of what we're doing, be a part of the channel. Everything that I do is based on our Triple E formula for success. Remember, we educate, we empower, and we encourage. We educate with the shows, with the blogs, with the podcasts. We empower with the tools that we're learning, like the Blueprint series. We encourage with the community that you are a part of. You can be a voice in your community, in your family, at your house, at your church, your doctor's office, in your neighborhood, to say, hey, we can be different because we have unlimited potential. And it comes by design, not by dreams, not by my motivation. And you can say to those 1 billion people on the planet, let's do it differently. Let's be healthy. Let's walk this path together. Bring them on. Watch some of the videos with them. We've got the series on there. Walk through it, and you will be amazed at the benefit that you get and the benefit that your family and your friends and everyone around you gets. Because that, after all, is also part of limitless living. We will have our fasting coming up tomorrow, and we'll talk about that. So we'll have a show as we do our check-in, and we'll be further along in our fast. Normally we start the fast tomorrow, but we'll be further along. Come on out and join us for that as we get through the rest of this week. And for everyone, have a happy and an amazing holiday. We look forward to seeing you as we get into the new year, as we continue on the path to get our goal of limitless living. And it's powered by the design that we've been putting together, the design that comes from the path that we've been walking. And you'll see it there, powered by Woode Life Design. I'm going to put this up here really quickly. Last time I did this, and remember, so there are 2 QR codes that you're going to see. The one on the left, the Woode Life Design briefs. This is a weekly email that you get with a thought, with some action items that you, as you're walking through, as you want to sit down and you want to spend some time nurturing yourself and growing yourself, this is a great place to do that, right? So that's not designed to bomb your email or to fill up your inbox, but it's just a single email that comes once a week. You get to sit with it, you get to reminisce, you get to work on yourself personally. You can share it with your family, with your friends, but that's the one that you will see there on the left. Let me pull that up. And then the one on the right, I am always looking to find out how to improve what we do here on the channel, improve what we do in the community. So I really would appreciate if you would take some time, scan that QR code to the right, and to give us some information to help shape the future of our show and true future of the channel. So the right one, you're signing up for the new, not as you wouldn't call it a newsletter, but you're coming for the weekly email that helps you to grow and helps you to bring some structure, some clarity, and continuity to your life. And the one on the right is to help us shape the future of our show and the future of the things that we do here on the channel. Thank you for paying attention to each of those. All right. Y'all, let me get rid of that. There we go. Always say I'm excited to be here with you, excited to be walking this path with you. And as I say, this is Dr. Dwain Woode. That's Woode with an E. The E stands for endocrinology. Here I educate, I empower, and I encourage you to take charge of your health and your life, avoid complications, and go to the next level. We're creating the life we've always wanted, and we are living limitless lives. I'm here to help you to have the success here in your health, just like you're having in all the other areas of your life. You don't need superhuman strength. What you need is a strategy you can trust. You need a design and structure you can follow and come back to. And you need the determination and the support to keep showing up every single time. So you can be there for those things that are important to you. Family, friends, community, and so you can enjoy the benefit of those dreams that you have been pouring into. Thank you for being with us. We look forward to seeing you in the new season. Good night, everybody. Have a great rest of the year. We're going to listen to that MOVE campaign, and then we'll be out of here. Bye-bye. Welcome to MOVE, Metabolic Optimization via Exercise. This isn't just about workouts. It's about moving your body, moving your habits, and moving your life forward. Each episode builds consistency, strength, and resilience step by step. I'm Dr. Dwain Woode, and together we're writing the story of health, transformation, and limitless living. This is MOVE. Let's get started.